It borders the Bay of Bengal between Burma and India.
Fun fact, Bangladesh's currency is the paisa. Fun fact, Bangladesh is a low-income country with 137th GDP in the world.
The impact of climate change on Bangladesh is both long-term and short-term.
As you can see, it's raining today. Bangladesh doesn't get much of this. Their greenhouse gas contribution is 0.3% globally.
This is crazy, considering they have half the population of the United States.
This is crazy!
In fact, Bangladesh emits 44 times less greenhouse gases than the United States.
Bangladesh don't contribute a lot, but they're at high risk of greenhouse gases and climate change.
In fact, in Bangladesh, they're suffering from mass starvation and mass poverty across the country.
This is what is being killed in the process.
Sea levels are rising and more people are dying from cyclones and tropical floods.
Rising sea levels are a growing threat to people who are all around Bangladesh. It's becoming staggering. 2/3 of the country is less than 15 feet above sea level.
This has also led to Bangladesh losing 30 to 40% of its agricultural output. But what's being done to save Bangladesh? Well, the Climate Change Agreement Plan and the Paris Agreement are both great plans that are being implemented across the world to try and save this great country.
As a tutor group, we are going to discuss the summit of the Maldives, vulnerability to climate change. And then we will talk about China and its negative impacts on the world.
Climate change refers to the long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns. COP-27 is a chance for all countries that are invited to present and discuss their updated plans to reduce carbon emissions and reach net zero by 2050.
The Maldives comprises of 1,190 islands in the Indian Ocean. 199 of these islands are habited within a population over 300,000 people. This means that 300,000 people will be affected by the climate change from the rising sea levels.
Since the islands are low-lying land, they are exposed to the risk of intensifying weather events, which can cause destructive flooding. The rising sea levels are a consequence of the melting polar ice caps around the globe.
Future sea levels in the Maldives are expected to rise between 10 to 100 centimeters by the year 2100. This is going to have catastrophic consequences for the people and environment.
But what are the Maldives doing to stop or prevent the effects of climate change? The president of the Maldives, Mohamed Nasheed, is continuing to be productive and raise awareness of the potential disaster the Maldives and the world faces.
In an attempt to bring the world's attention to the problems they face, to do this, Nasheed held a cabinet meeting underwater. All cabinet officials were certified for scuba diving in 2009. They descended to under 20 feet and communicated with whiteboards and hand signals.
After 30 minutes, the cabinet signed a communique calling on all nations to out their global emissions. This is a symbol of the Nasheed meeting attracted the attention of the world.
Maldives is a low-income country, so the rest of the world needs to help them before it's too late and the country is submerged under the sea.
Greenhouse gases emitted by the rest of the world have caused many problems worldwide. One country which is an extremely large emitter of carbon dioxide is China.
China is located in Southeast Asia along the coastline of the Pacific. It has 1.5 billion inhabitants and an area of 9.6 square kilometers.
China's impact on climate change has increased forest belt limits and frequencies of pests and diseases. Furthermore, a decrease of frozen areas threatens to decrease glacial areas in northwest China.
China is almost a high-income country, so dealing with climate change is a lot more accessible compared to countries like the Maldives. China works with renewable energy and other decarbonisation efforts. Also, China wants to become carbon neutral by 2060.
But China could be said to hold a massive responsibility in the words of climate change. The country is the largest emitter of carbon dioxide in the world. 27% of global warming has been caused by urbanisation in the past 50 years, with China being responsible for more than a quarter of the global greenhouse gas emissions in 2019.
Thank you for watching our video, and we hope that you now realise the danger of global warming in the Maldives. This country is only low income and need help from bigger, high income countries that can support them.
As a tutor group, we have chosen the country Nigeria, which is classed as a low-income country.
Nigeria is situated in the continent of Africa and lies in the West African region.
To Nigeria's coast being low-lying and dynamic, this allows it to become vulnerable to climate change because sea levels have been rising along the coast of Nigeria.
Coastal erosion, which is leading to some villages becoming lost, and estimation states that a 1 metre rise in sea levels will cause 75% of land in Nigeria delta to be lost.
Nigeria is less than 1% of all global emissions. The emissions per person per year is 2 tonnes compared to the global average of 6 tonnes.
Nigeria doesn't produce as much greenhouse gases as the US or China, but produces the third highest amount in Africa.
So Nigeria is not significant to global climate change,
but it's a high contributor to Africa.
Sea levels have been rising along the coast of Nigeria, causing erosion in some villages to be lost.
People are having to travel around their villages by canoe.
With Nigeria being the most populated country in Africa, every bit of additional warming adds greater risks in the form of greater droughts, more heat waves, and more potential crop failures. With so many people to feed, Nigeria cannot afford any more floods or heat waves. Agriculture is one of the major contributors to the Nigerian economy and source of income for some Nigerians.
If the global temperature is set to rise by 2 degrees, almost all towns would be under weather, leaving people homeless and hungry.